Do you ever set goals but feel like they never bring you the results or the peace that you're hoping for? It might be because they're not aligned with your values. So today, let's change that. Welcome back to the second video in this series. It's the 4-step guide to living intentionally. I am so pumped about this series because it is everything to me. It's had a big, profound impact on my life. And now I get to share my process and my system with you. So first things first, I created a digital guide that you just download. It's a 9-page guide, and it has steps that you can go through, questions that I ask you that correlate with each of the steps in the videos in this series. The link to that guide will be down below. It's so crazy to me. I've always been a determined person, which is ironic that now I live a slower, more intentional life because I just was always like, grew up with that mentality that if it was meant to be, it was up to me. Like, hurry, 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 get as much as you can done and crammed into a certain time frame. Maybe you can relate to that. And so it's been quite a journey to untangle all of my thought processes. And one of the big ones being that when I set goals, I didn't really know what I valued. Like, I knew I loved my family. I knew that I loved paying with cash. I loved being an entrepreneur. I loved college. I was a good student in school. There's things that I knew about myself, but like when you break that down and you start asking yourself, why do you value those things? Man, that's when my goals and my dreams really started to take flight, because for the first time, what I wanted was aligned with my values. All right, so we are on step 1, setting intentional goals, if you download the workbook. I really want to refer to that because I walk you through and ask you 3 pivotal questions that will help you determine what your values are. Maybe you value your family. Maybe you're super, super organized. Maybe you're just very self-aware of how you feel when you're around certain people, or, like all of that plays into what you value. I think there comes a time, and for some reason, it seems to hit us midlife. I was 38 before I went through my divorce, and I truly realized what I wanted out of life and what I was hoping what my next steps would look like. But I think that prior to age 38, I just went along with the societal pressures of like, you should buy a house when you're young. You should put yourself through school. You should have a family right away. And although I don't regret any of those things, there was this pressure that I needed to like check all the boxes. And when I got to age 38, I threw all the boxes out the window because I no longer cared about those things or what other people said I should be doing. And that brought such freedom to me in my life and permission to lay down my expectations, those boxes that I wanted to check, and just be like, all right, let's see what you have for me in this next season of life. And he has revealed so many beautiful things to me that I would have missed had I stayed stuck in that hustle mentality and trying to achieve. Something I realize is like, bigger is not always better. When it comes to a car, when it comes to a house. I live in 800 square feet, guys. Like, this takes me an hour to clean, deep clean it every 10 days or so. And it is so, so easy to maintain. Bigger is not always better. So if you are living in a small house, know that there's a lot of good things that come with that. Paring down, letting go, learning to be content and simplify. If you live in a big house and you know you want to change your lifestyle, I just went through that. Moved out of a bigger house, 1,700 square feet, which for me and kiddos was way too big, and downsized into this. And I love it. Honestly, the sweet spot for me is around 1,200 square feet. So it's a little tight, but it's okay. We're making do. I would like to challenge you to like go through your mind and dissect those things that you thought to be true that really aren't true, because a bigger car or a bigger house usually comes with a bigger payment and costs more money. And so what would you like to be spending your money on if you weren't spending it on something you drove or something you lived in? Okay, so I have 2 goals that will help illustrate and bring home this point. So the first goal, I went to a farmhouse market. Do you know those farmhouse markets in the fall? Anyway, this lady had this pottery booth, and this booth was full of pottery pieces that she had made. And this is one of her candlesticks. And I remember thinking, this is the most beautiful thing I have ever seen. And she made it, on a wheel. And pottery was something that I always was interested in learning how to make, but very, very overwhelmed. I knew I wanted to make pottery, but I didn't even know where to start. So I went up to her and I bought a few pieces actually. And I said, if I wanted to learn how to make pottery, where do I start? And she told me about some classes. And a couple months later, I enrolled in those classes and started making my own pottery pieces. A lot of them ended up bowls like this, but I learned how to like dip and do all the things and trim them. Oh my gosh, I had so much fun. They're not perfect, okay? So if you have done pottery and your pieces are perfect, I'm not there yet. This one was supposed to be more like a bowl and it came out like a plate. But it's the cutest like little saucer for a candle or whatever, jewelry. And I'm so proud of these pieces and I had so much fun. That pottery journey has a lot to do with setting SMART goals. All right, so SMART means specific, measurable, achievable, relevant, and time bound. So the specific was I wanted to make pottery. I wanted to learn how to make my own pieces. The second was measurable. Okay, how can I make this happen? I asked her, where did you take classes? How did you learn? Right? Figured that out. Is it achievable? Do I have time in my schedule right now where I can actually achieve that result? Yes. And the finances to do it. Was it relevant to where I'm at in my life right now? Heck yeah, because it slowed me down. There's no electronics involved, none at all. And then time bound is I wanted to do it as soon as possible. So within 2 months, I was signed up for a pottery class. So that is how the SMART goal process works. If you get my Slow Living Blueprint, we dive into it a lot more, but I'll share another example. So another example is I am like into this world of fasting right now, and I just so happen want to lose 40-ish pounds, 40 to 50 pounds, somewhere in there. And so my specific goal is I want to lose 40 pounds. I would love to do it in 2025. Measurable is tracking my progress through fasting. Okay, that's how I'm going to measure it. Achievable, can I do this? Heck yeah, I've given myself a whole year to lose 40 pounds. I have done that before, so I know I can achieve it. Is it relevant to where I'm at right now? Yes. So losing weight, I'm finally ready to get healthy, to put my health first, to take care of me in ways that I have neglected. And so fasting is something that's super, super good for your body. I'm still learning I don't know a whole lot, guys. Don't come at me with your fasting fingers, but I'm learning and it's fascinating to me. So I'm reading books and I'm becoming educated and figuring out meals that I can cook, right? That will help me with my fasting. It's taking care of my hormones. Like I'm 43. So these are things that are very much relevant to my age. And time bound. Yes, it absolutely is time bound because I've given myself a year. So by the end of 2025, I want to be 40 pounds lighter and healthier, not just lighter, but sleeping better, clothes fitting, hormones in check, no bloating, reduced inflammation, like all those things that I care about. Having my blood work done, guys, I've never had my blood work done unless it was for one of my pregnancies. When you have your labs taken, it's exposing those areas that are going to require change and adjustment, and I'm ready for it. My process for that is number one, I'm reading a book. Number two, I'm going to the doctor, right, for a checkup and have my blood work done. Number three, I'm prepping for it. And number four, not only do I want to fast, but I want to pair it with kettlebells. So those are new to me too. So I broke this down in the free guide that's down below. And I want you to list, this is like my homework to you. I want you to list 3 priorities that you have right now, and then what goals you can set that will align with each of those priorities. So now that we have set some intentional goals, be sure to watch the next video because we're going to dive into how to plan for success. If you're loving this, if you've downloaded the free guide and you're like, man, this lights me on fire, I need to know more, I do want to mention that my Slow Living Blueprint is linked down below. It is the Mac Daddy. It is my signature process of how I went through the last 5 years of life and came out on the other side, and actually I'm pretty proud of the life that I have built. So if you're interested in that, click the link down below and I will see you in the next video.